Acts 23. Then Paul, looking earnestly at the council, said, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day. And Paul, earnestly beholding the council, said, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day. And the high priest Ananias commanded those who stood by him to strike him on the mouth. And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to smite him on the mouth. Then Paul said to him, God will strike you, you whitewashed wall. For you sit to judge me according to the law, and do you command me to be struck contrary to the law? Then said Paul unto him, God shall smite thee, thou whited wall, for sittest thou to judge me after the law, and commandest me to be smitten contrary to the law? And those who stood by said, Do you revile God's high priest? And they that stood by said, Revilest thou God's high priest? Then Paul said, I did not know, brethren, that he was the high priest, for it is written, You shall not speak evil of a ruler of your people. Then said Paul, I wist not, brethren, that he was the high priest, for it is written, Thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people. But when Paul perceived that one part were Sadducees and the other Pharisees, he cried out in the council, Men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee, concerning the hope and resurrection of the dead I am being judged. But when Paul perceived that the one part were Sadducees, and the other Pharisees, he cried out in the council, Men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee, of the hope and resurrection of the dead I am called in question. And when he had said this, a dissension arose between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the assembly was divided. And when he had so said, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the multitude was divided. For Sadducees say that there is no resurrection and no angel or spirit, but the Pharisees confess both. For the Sadducees say that there is no resurrection, neither angel, nor spirit, but the Pharisees confess both. Then there arose a loud outcry. And the scribes of the Pharisees' party arose and protested, saying, We find no evil in this man, but if a spirit or an angel has spoken to him, let us not fight against God. And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were of the Pharisees' part arose, and strove, saying, We find no evil in this man, but if a spirit or an angel hath spoken to him, let us not fight against God. Now when there arose a great dissension, the commander, fearing lest Paul might be pulled to pieces by them, commanded the soldiers to go down and take him by force from among them, and bring him into the barracks. And when there arose a great dissension, the chief captain, fearing lest Paul should have been pulled in pieces of them, commanded the soldiers to go down, and to take him by force from among them, and to bring him into the castle. But the following night the Lord stood by him and said, Be of good cheer, Paul, for as you have testified for me in Jerusalem, so you must also bear witness at Rome. And the night following the Lord stood by him, and said, Be of good cheer, Paul, for as thou hast testified of me in Jerusalem, so must thou bear witness also at Rome. And when it was day, some of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under an oath, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. And when it was day, certain of the Jews banded together, and bound themselves under a curse, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. Now there were more than 40 who had formed this conspiracy. And they were more than 40 which had made this conspiracy. They came to the chief priests and elders, and said, We have bound ourselves under a great oath that we will eat nothing until we have killed Paul. And they came to the chief priests and elders, and said, We have bound ourselves under a great curse, that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. Now you, therefore, together with the council, suggest to the commander that he be brought down to you tomorrow, as though you were going to make further inquiries concerning him, but we are ready to kill him before he comes near. Now therefore ye with the council signify to the chief captain that he bring him down unto you tomorrow, as though you would inquire something more perfectly concerning him, and we, or ever he come near, are ready to kill him. So when Paul's sister's son heard of their ambush, he went and entered the barracks and told Paul. And when Paul's sister's son heard of their lying in wait, he went and entered into the castle, and told Paul. Then Paul called one of the centurions to him and said, Take this young man to the commander, for he has something to tell him. Then Paul called one of the centurions unto him, and said, Bring this young man unto the chief captain, for he hath a certain thing to tell him. So he took him and brought him to the commander and said, Paul the prisoner called me to him and asked me to bring this young man to you. He has something to say to you. So he took him, and brought him to the chief captain, and said, Paul the prisoner called me unto him, and prayed me to bring this young man unto thee, who hath something to say unto thee. Then the commander took him by the hand, went aside, and asked privately, What is it that you have to tell me? Then the chief captain took him by the hand, and went with him aside privately, and asked him, What is that thou hast to tell me? And he said, The Jews have agreed to ask that you bring Paul down to the council tomorrow, as though they were going to inquire more fully about him. And he said, The Jews have agreed to desire thee that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow into the council, as though they would inquire somewhat of him more perfectly. But do not yield to them, for more than 40 of them lie in wait for him, men who have bound themselves by an oath that they will neither eat nor drink till they have killed him, and now they are ready, waiting for the promise from you. But do not thou yield unto them, for there lie in wait for him of them more than 40 men, which have bound themselves with an oath, that they will neither eat nor drink till they have killed him, and now are they ready, looking for a promise from thee. So the commander let the young man depart, and commanded him, Tell no one that you have revealed these things to me. So the chief captain then let the young man depart, and charged him, See thou tell no man that thou hast shewed these things to me. And he called for 2 centurions, saying, Prepare 200 soldiers, 70 horsemen, and 200 spearmen to go to Caesarea at the 3rd hour of the night. And he called unto him 2 centurions, saying, Make ready 200 soldiers to go to Caesarea, and horsemen 60, and spearmen 200, at the 3rd hour of the night. And provide mounts to set Paul on, and bring him safely to Felix the governor. And provide them beasts, that they may set Paul on, and bring him safe unto Felix the governor. He wrote a letter in the following manner. And he wrote a letter after this manner. Claudius Lysias, to the most excellent governor Felix, greetings. Claudius Lysias unto the most excellent governor Felix sendeth greeting. This man was seized by the Jews and was about to be killed by them. Coming with the troops I rescued him, having learned that he was a Roman. This man was taken of the Jews, and should have been killed of them, then came I with an army, and rescued him, having understood that he was a Roman. And when I wanted to know the reason they accused him, I brought him before their council. And when I would have known the cause wherefore they accused him, I brought him forth into their council. I found out that he was accused concerning questions of their law, but had nothing charged against him deserving of death or chains. Whom I perceived to be accused of questions of their law, but to have nothing laid to his charge worthy of death or of bonds. And when it was told me that the Jews lay in wait for the man, I sent him immediately to you, and also commanded his accusers to state before you the charges against him. Farewell. And when it was told me how that the Jews laid wait for the man, I sent straightway to thee, and gave commandment to his accusers also to say before thee what they had against him. Farewell. Then the soldiers, as they were commanded, took Paul and brought him by night to Antipatris. Then the soldiers, as it was commanded them, took Paul, and brought him by night to Antipatris. The next day they left the horsemen to go on with him, and returned to the barracks. On the morrow they left the horsemen to go with him, and returned to the castle. When they came to Caesarea and had delivered the letter to the governor, they also presented Paul to him. Who, when they came to Caesarea, and delivered the epistle to the governor, presented Paul also before him. And when the governor had read it, he asked what province he was from. And when he understood that he was from Cilicia. And when the governor had read the letter, he asked of what province he was. And when he understood that he was of Cilicia, he said, I will hear you when your accusers also have come. And he commanded him to be kept in Herod's praetorium. I will hear thee, said he, when thine accusers are also come. And he commanded him to be kept in Herod's judgment hall. Acts 24. Now after 5 days Ananias the high priest came down with the elders and a certain orator named Tertullus. These gave evidence to the governor against Paul. And after 5 days Ananias the high priest descended with the elders, and with a certain orator named Tertullus, who informed the governor against Paul. And when he was called upon, Tertullus began his accusation, saying, Seeing that through you we enjoy great peace, and prosperity is being brought to this nation by your foresight." And when he was called forth, Tertullus began to accuse him, saying, "Seeing that by thee we enjoy great quietness, and that very worthy deeds are done unto this nation by thy providence, we accept it always and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness. We accept it always, and in all places, most noble Felix, with all thankfulness. Nevertheless, not to be tedious to you any further, I beg you to hear, by your courtesy, a few words from us. Notwithstanding, that I be not further tedious unto thee, I pray thee that thou wouldest hear us of thy clemency a few words. For we have found this man a plague, a creator of dissension among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. For we have found this man a pestilent fellow, and a mover of sedition among all the Jews throughout the world, and a ringleader of the sect of the Nazarenes. He even tried to profane the temple, and we seized him, and wanted to judge him according to our law. Who also hath gone about to profane the temple, whom we took, and would have judged according to our law. But the commander Lysias came by and with great violence took him out of our hands. But the chief captain Lysias came upon us, and with great violence took him away out of our hands, commanding his accusers to come to you. By examining him yourself you may ascertain all these things of which we accuse him. Commanding his accusers to come unto thee, by examining of whom thyself mayest take knowledge of all these things, whereof we accuse him. And the Jews also assented, maintaining that these things were so. And the Jews also assented, saying that these things were so. Then Paul, after the governor had nodded to him to speak, answered, "Inasmuch as I know that you have been for many years a judge of this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself." Then Paul, after that the governor had beckoned unto him to speak, answered, "Forasmuch as I know that thou hast been of many years a judge unto this nation, I do the more cheerfully answer for myself. Because you may ascertain that it is no more than 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem to worship. Because that thou mayest understand that there are yet but 12 days since I went up to Jerusalem for to worship. And they neither found me in the temple disputing with anyone nor inciting the crowd, either in the synagogues or in the city. And they neither found me in the temple disputing with any man, neither raising up the people, neither in the synagogues, nor in the city. Nor can they prove the things of which they now accuse me. Neither can they prove the things whereof they now accuse me. But this I confess to you, that according to the way which they call a sect, so I worship the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the God of my fathers, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. I have hope in God, which they themselves also accept, that there will be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and the unjust. And have hope toward God, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. This being so, I myself always strive to have a conscience without offense toward God and men. And herein do I exercise myself, to have always a conscience void of offense toward God, and toward men. Now after many years I came to bring alms and offerings to my nation. Now after many years I came to bring alms to my nation, and offerings. In the midst of which some Jews from Asia found me purified in the temple, neither with a mob nor with tumult. Whereupon certain Jews from Asia found me purified in the temple, neither with multitude, nor with tumult. They ought to have been here before you to object if they had anything against me. Who ought to have been here before thee, and object, if they had aught against me? Or else let those who are here themselves say if they found any wrongdoing in me while I stood before the council. Or else let these same here say, if they have found any evil doing in me, while I stood before the council. Unless it is for this one statement which I cried out, standing among them, concerning the resurrection of the dead I am being judged by you this day. Except it be for this one voice, that I cried standing among them, touching the resurrection of the dead I am called in question by you this day. But when Felix heard these things, having more accurate knowledge of the way, he adjourned the proceedings and said, When Lysias the commander comes down, I will make a decision on your case. And when Felix heard these things, having more perfect knowledge of that way, he deferred them, and said, When Lysias the chief captain shall come down, I will know the uttermost of your matter. So he commanded the centurion to keep Paul and to let him have liberty, and told him not to forbid any of his friends to provide for or visit him. And he commanded a centurion to keep Paul, and to let him have liberty, and that he should forbid none of his acquaintance to minister or come unto him. And after some days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, who was Jewish, he sent for Paul and heard him concerning the faith in Christ. And after certain days, when Felix came with his wife Drusilla, which was a Jewess, he sent for Paul, and heard him concerning the faith in Christ. Now as he reasoned about righteousness, self-control, and the judgment to come, Felix was afraid and answered, Go away for now, when I have a convenient time I will call for you. And as he reasoned of righteousness, temperance, and judgment to come, Felix trembled, and answered, Go thy way for this time, when I have a convenient season, I will call for thee. Meanwhile he also hoped that money would be given him by Paul, that he might release him. Therefore he sent for him more often and conversed with him. He hoped also that money should have been given him of Paul, that he might loose him, wherefore he sent for him the oftener, and communed with him. But after 2 years Porcius Festus succeeded Felix, and Felix, wanting to do the Jews a favor, left Paul bound. But after 2 years Porcius Festus came into Felix's room, and Felix, willing to shew the Jews a pleasure, left Paul bound. Numbers 5. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, everyone who has a discharge, and whoever becomes defiled by a corpse. Command the children of Israel that they put out of the camp every leper, and every one that hath an issue, and whosoever is defiled by the dead. You shall put out both male and female, you shall put them outside the camp, that they may not defile their camps in the midst of which I dwell. Both male and female shall ye put out, without the camp shall ye put them, that they defile not their camps, in the midst whereof I dwell. And the children of Israel did so, and put them outside the camp, as the Lord spoke to Moses, so the children of Israel did. And the children of Israel did so, and put them out without the camp, as the Lord spake unto Moses, so did the children of Israel. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. Speak to the children of Israel, when a man or woman commits any sin that men commit in unfaithfulness against the Lord, and that person is guilty. Speak unto the children of Israel, when a man or woman shall commit any sin that men commit, to do a trespass against the Lord, and that person be guilty. Then he shall confess the sin which he has committed. He shall make restitution for his trespass in full, plus 1/5 of it, and give it to the one he has wronged. Then they shall confess their sin which they have done, and he shall recompense his trespass with the principal thereof, and add unto it the 5th part thereof, and give it unto him against whom he hath trespassed. But if the man has no relative to whom restitution may be made for the wrong, the restitution for the wrong must go to the Lord for the priest, in addition to the ram of the atonement with which atonement is made for him. But if the man have no kinsman to recompense the trespass unto, let the trespass be recompensed unto the Lord, even to the priest, beside the ram of the atonement, whereby an atonement shall be made for him. Every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring to the priest, shall be his. And every offering of all the holy things of the children of Israel, which they bring unto the priest, shall be his. And every man's holy thing shall be his, whatever any man gives the priest shall be his. And every man's hallowed thing shall be his, whatsoever any man giveth the priest, it shall be his. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, if any man's wife goes astray and behaves unfaithfully toward him. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, if any man's wife go aside, and commit a trespass against him. And a man lies with her carnally, and it is hidden from the eyes of her husband, and it is concealed that she has defiled herself, and there was no witness against her, nor was she caught. And a man lie with her carnally, and it be hid from the eyes of her husband, and be kept close, and she be defiled, and there be no witness against her, neither she be taken with the matter. If the spirit of jealousy comes upon him and he becomes jealous of his wife, who has defiled herself, or if the spirit of jealousy comes upon him and he becomes jealous of his wife, although she has not defiled herself. And the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be defiled, or if the spirit of jealousy come upon him, and he be jealous of his wife, and she be not defiled. Then the man shall bring his wife to the priest. He shall bring the offering required for her, 1/10 of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil on it and put no frankincense on it, because it is a grain offering of jealousy, an offering for remembering, for bringing iniquity to remembrance. Then shall the man bring his wife unto the priest, and he shall bring her offering for her, the 10th part of an ephah of barley meal. He shall pour no oil upon it, nor put frankincense thereon, for it is an offering of jealousy, an offering of memorial, bringing iniquity to remembrance. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord. And the priest shall bring her near, and set her before the Lord. The priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and take some of the dust that is on the floor of the tabernacle and put it into the water. And the priest shall take holy water in an earthen vessel, and of the dust that is in the floor of the tabernacle the priest shall take, and put it into the water. Then the priest shall stand the woman before the Lord, uncover the woman's head, and put the offering for remembering in her hands, which is the grain offering of jealousy. And the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that brings a curse. And the priest shall set the woman before the Lord, and uncover the woman's head, and put the offering of memorial in her hands, which is the jealousy offering, and the priest shall have in his hand the bitter water that causeth the curse. And the priest shall put her under oath, and say to the woman, if no man has lain with you, and if you have not gone astray to uncleanness while under your husband's authority, be free from this bitter water that brings a curse. And the priest shall charge her by an oath, and say unto the woman, if no man have lain with thee, and if thou hast not gone aside to uncleanness with another instead of thy husband, be thou free from this bitter water that causeth the curse. But if you have gone astray while under your husband's authority, and if you have defiled yourself and some man other than your husband has lain with you. But if thou hast gone aside to another instead of thy husband, and if thou be defiled, and some man have lain with thee beside thine husband. Then the priest shall put the woman under the oath of the curse, and he shall say to the woman, the Lord make you a curse and an oath among your people, when the Lord makes your thigh rot and your belly swell. Then the priest shall charge the woman with an oath of cursing, and the priest shall say unto the woman, the Lord make thee a curse and an oath among thy people, when the Lord doth make thy thigh to rot, and thy belly to swell. And may this water that causes the curse go into your stomach, and make your belly swell and your thigh rot. Then the woman shall say, Amen, so be it. And this water that causeth the curse shall go into thy bowels, to make thy belly to swell, and thy thigh to rot, and the woman shall say, Amen, Amen. Then the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall scrape them off into the bitter water. And the priest shall write these curses in a book, and he shall blot them out with the bitter water. And he shall make the woman drink the bitter water that brings a curse, and the water that brings the curse shall enter her to become bitter. And he shall cause the woman to drink the bitter water that causeth the curse, and the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter. Then the priest shall take the grain offering of jealousy from the woman's hand, shall wave the offering before the Lord, and bring it to the altar. Then the priest shall take the jealousy offering out of the woman's hand, and shall wave the offering before the Lord, and offer it upon the altar. And the priest shall take a handful of the offering, as its memorial portion, burn it on the altar, and afterward make the woman drink the water. And the priest shall take an handful of the offering, even the memorial thereof, and burn it upon the altar, and afterward shall cause the woman to drink the water. When he has made her drink the water, then it shall be, if she has defiled herself and behaved unfaithfully toward her husband, that the water that brings a curse will enter her and become bitter, and her belly will swell, her thigh will rot, and the woman will become a curse among her people. And when he hath made her to drink the water, then it shall come to pass, that, if she be defiled, and have done trespass against her husband, that the water that causeth the curse shall enter into her, and become bitter, and her belly shall swell, and her thigh shall rot, and the woman shall be a curse among her people. But if the woman has not defiled herself, and is clean, then she shall be free and may conceive children. And if the woman be not defiled, but be clean, then she shall be free, and shall conceive seed. This is the law of jealousy, when a wife, while under her husband's authority, goes astray and defiles herself. This is the law of jealousies, when a wife goeth aside to another instead of her husband, and is defiled. Or when the spirit of jealousy comes upon a man, and he becomes jealous of his wife, then he shall stand the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute all this law upon her. Or when the spirit of jealousy cometh upon him, and he be jealous over his wife, and shall set the woman before the Lord, and the priest shall execute upon her all this law. Then the man shall be free from iniquity, but that woman shall bear her guilt. Then shall the man be guiltless from iniquity, and this woman shall bear her iniquity. Numbers 6. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, when either a man or woman consecrates an offering to take the vow of a Nazirite, to separate himself to the Lord. Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazirite, to separate themselves unto the Lord. He shall separate himself from wine and similar drink, he shall drink neither vinegar made from wine nor vinegar made from similar drink, neither shall he drink any grape juice, nor eat fresh grapes or raisins. He shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine, or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes, or dried. All the days of his separation he shall eat nothing that is produced by the grapevine, from seed to skin. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. All the days of the vow of his separation no razor shall come upon his head, until the days are fulfilled for which he separated himself to the Lord, he shall be holy. Then he shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days of the vow of his separation there shall no razor come upon his head, until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separateth himself unto the Lord, he shall be holy, and shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separates himself to the Lord he shall not go near a dead body. All the days that he separateth himself unto the Lord he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean even for his father or his mother, for his brother or his sister, when they die, because his separation to God is on his head. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister, when they die, because the consecration of his God is upon his head. All the days of his separation he shall be holy to the Lord. All the days of his separation he is holy unto the Lord. And if anyone dies very suddenly beside him, and he defiles his consecrated head, then he shall shave his head on the day of his cleansing, on the 7th day he shall shave it. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing, on the 7th day shall he shave it. Then on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer one as a sin offering and the other as a burnt offering, and make atonement for him, because he sinned in regard to the corpse, and he shall sanctify his head that same day. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. He shall consecrate to the Lord the days of his separation, and bring a male lamb in its first year as a trespass offering, but the former days shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering, but the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. Now this is the law of the Nazirite, when the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought to the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And this is the law of the Nazirite, when the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall present his offering to the Lord, 1 male lamb in its first year without blemish as a burnt offering, 1 ewe lamb in its first year without blemish as a sin offering, 1 ram without blemish as a peace offering. And he shall offer his offering unto the Lord, 1 he lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and 1 ram without blemish for peace offerings. A basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mixed with oil, unleavened wafers anointed with oil, and their grain offering with their drink offerings. And a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meat offering, and their drink offerings. Then the priest shall bring them before the Lord and offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord, and shall offer his sin offering, and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram as a sacrifice of a peace offering to the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall also offer its grain offering and its drink offering. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering, and his drink offering. Then the Nazirite shall shave his consecrated head at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and shall take the hair from his consecrated head and put it on the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the Nazirite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall take the boiled shoulder of the ram, one unleavened cake from the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and put them upon the hands of the Nazirite after he has shaved his consecrated hair. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram, and one unleavened cake out of the basket, and one unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazirite, after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them as a wave offering before the Lord. They are holy for the priest, together with the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the heave offering. After that the Nazirite may drink wine. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. This is holy for the priest, with the wave breast and heave shoulder, and after that the Nazirite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazirite who vows to the Lord the offering for his separation, and besides that, whatever else his hand is able to provide, according to the vow which he takes, so he must do according to the law of his separation. This is the law of the Nazirite who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation, beside that his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the law of his separation. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying. Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the way you shall bless the children of Israel. Say to them. Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord bless thee, and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon you, and be gracious to you. The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. So they shall put my name on the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. Psalm 62. Truly my soul silently waits for God, from him comes my salvation. To the chief musician, to Jeduthun, a psalm of David. Truly my soul waiteth upon God, from him cometh my salvation. He only is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, I shall not be greatly moved. He only is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, I shall not be greatly moved. How long will you attack a man? You shall be slain, all of you, like a leaning wall and a tottering fence. How long will ye imagine mischief against a man? Ye shall be slain all of you, as a bowing wall shall ye be, and as a tottering fence. They only consult to cast him down from his high position, they delight in lies, they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. They only consult to cast him down from his excellency, they delight in lies, they bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. Selah. My soul, wait silently for God alone, for my expectation is from him. My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. He only is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, I shall not be moved. He only is my rock and my salvation, he is my defense, I shall not be moved. In God is my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength, and my refuge is in God. In God is my salvation and my glory, the rock of my strength, and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, you people, pour out your heart before him, God is a refuge for us. Selah. Trust in him at all times, ye people, pour out your heart before him, God is a refuge for us. Selah. Surely men of low degree are a vapor, men of high degree are a lie, if they are weighed on the scales, they are altogether lighter than vapor. Surely men of low degree are vanity, and men of high degree are a lie, to be laid in the balance, they are altogether lighter than vanity. Do not trust in oppression, nor vainly hope in robbery. If riches increase, do not set your heart on them. Trust not in oppression, and become not vain in robbery. If riches increase, set not your heart upon them. God has spoken once, twice I have heard this, that power belongs to God. God hath spoken once, twice have I heard this, that power belongeth unto God. Also to you, O Lord, belongs mercy, for you render to each one according to his work. Also unto thee, O Lord, belongeth mercy, for thou renderest to every man according to his work.